I was not born in a Christian family. I was a normal kid growing up. I thought that I wanted to be happy. So in my pursuit of happiness, I tried to be good in academics, tried to be good in sports. I was kind of a religious kid, was involved in church, but I really didn't know what it meant to have a personal relationship with Christ. When I was in high school, I met a girl that seemed really different. The rest of us were off partying, we were trying to have a good time, but deep inside, I wasn't satisfied. And I watched this girl, her name was Evelyn, and I knew that there was something different about her, but I didn't know what it was. So I did something really strange for a high school student. I actually went up to her and asked her, "Why are you happy?" She told me that she had a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And I was so intrigued by that. I was on the fence for several weeks, and I finally decided, you know, if that's really true, that's what I want for my life. So when I went back to my city, I began attending Bible studies. I got involved in what really, for the first time, I understood was having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And my life totally changed. Before, it was all about me. After that, I realized that God had greater intentions for me. I met a guy that was involved with Campus Crusade. He was starting a Bible study at our high school campus. I began to meet together with him regularly, and he started giving me leadership roles, asked me to lead Bible studies, asked me to MC meetings. And suddenly I was thrust into ministry, and I realized that what my greatest joy wasn't pursuing all of the other things, the sports, the parties, all of that, but it was really seeing people come into a relationship with Christ. So after I graduated, I was planning on joining Campus Crusade, but God kind of diverted me. So I ended up working for a year as an engineer before joining Campus Crusade, and then eventually coming here to the Philippines. And along the way, I had a chance to get involved here at CCF. One of the things that struck me about CCF was how God was using it to be able to reach influencers, not only here in the Philippines, but even other parts of Asia. And so I volunteered to be involved in the missions department. So God has used CCF missions in ways that are, I think, amazing. I've seen partnerships that we've seen develop in South Asia, as well as now beginning in East Asia, where in South Asia, we began the training that we've been providing about 2 years ago in this new area. And I went back after 2 years and was interviewing a few of the people there. And I interviewed one guy. He was from a Hindu background. He had come to know Christ only a couple months before we met him. Within a few months, he had started his own house church. One of the guys that was in his house church, he then introduced me to. He said, this guy came to know the Lord, and then we sent him to training. Now he's leading his own house church. And one by one, he introduced to me 5 generations of people who had come to know Christ just in the last 2 years. Each of them is now starting their own house church. We've seen a network that has developed with now over 3,500 churches that have been planted, another 1,000 cell groups that have been born. These are people that are coming from totally non-Christian background, people from mainly Hindu, Sikh background, people that are coming to know Christ, and within months of coming to Christ, they're beginning to lead others. And my heart's desire is to be able to impact places by raising up leaders who have a passion for reaching their own people. I realize as a missionary, I'm not going to be able to reach Muslim areas or Buddhist areas or Hindu areas, but people from those countries, they're the ones that are going to be able to reach those. So my passion is really raising up leaders who themselves have a vision for seeing that kind of a movement take place. And by God's grace, we are so privileged to be able to be a part of seeing that happen. I am Jim Whelchel, a life changed by God for eternity.